Yes, Lamb Chop. It is a magical star. Oh, hey, Tubies. Is Psychic Bob, also known as Lord Ision, my Wiccan title. Yay, welcome. Well, I was sitting here today. I'm wearing one of my mystical pentacle pendants. In fact, let me show it to you. Lamb Chop was asking me to talk about this pendant. You like that, don't you? Yeah, you do. All right, well, let's show it to the Tubi, shall we? Welcome to our show tonight. You know, it's Wednesday. It's time for Wiccan Wednesday. And I'm wearing tonight a beautiful mystical Wiccan pentacle. It's done in sterling silver. You guys can see that. But, oops, I got a lot of reflection because it's silver. It's very shiny. But it's the interwoven pentacle, which is a mystical Wiccan sign. Lamb Chop loves this. And so I was showing it to him. You like that? Well, I'll let you try it on. Oh, he wants to try it on. Well, let's see here. Let's put that around you. Okay, how's that look? Well, it looks very nice on you. I'll let you wear it. Well, tonight I'm going to wear it for the show, but you can wear it tomorrow. There, how's Lamb Chop look in his pentacle? Yes, you're well. You can. Lambs can be Wiccan as well. Yes, they can. Anybody can be Wiccan who wants to. Well, I'm so glad you guys are here. And thank you so much. Hi, Robin Boston. Look who all's here. There's Kim Osborne here. There's Baroness Kolobob. She's our moderator. Thank you, moderator. What's the moderator? Well, she has the blue wrench. That means if you have any problems with your donations tonight or questions, you know, just let her know. And she'll help you out, you know. Robin Moss says, oh, pretty. I love the silver. Thank you, Robin. This is one of my favorite pentacle pendants. And Lamb Chop was curious about it tonight. So I thought I'd show it to him, let him take a gander at it, you know. But I'm wearing my Wiccan pentacle because tonight is Wiccan Wednesday, isn't it, Lamb Chop? Let's see. Oh, look, there's Honey Drizzles here. Yay, Robin Boston's here. Kim Osborne's here. We got a lot of people here in chat. Isn't that nice? There's Little Hornus here. Yay, welcome. So glad you guys are here. Well, Lamb Chop and I are sitting here and contemplating all things mystical and Wiccan. There's glittery rainbows here. Yay, welcome. So glad you guys are here tonight. Oops, hold on. I got announcements coming across the screen. There's Colleen Radabaugh. Hi, Colleen. Good to see you. Welcome. Well, Lamb Chop, do you want to go over there and sit down? You can look out the window. I think the sky's a little clearer tonight. You can see the stars. Yeah? Okay. Well, why don't you go over there, and if you need anything, let me know, okay? All right, jump down. There you go. Lamb Chop's going on his way. Thank you, Lamb Chop. Oh, my gosh, it's so good to be with you guys, you know, and welcome. Steve says, I once dated a Wiccan chick. Wiccan chicks are cool. I should know I got one. Baroness Kolobob's a Wiccan chick. Oh my gosh. Well, this is so good to have you here tonight. And, you know, I've just today been relaxing. I slowed down a little bit. And Baroness Kolobob's and I went down to Old Town, had lunch, and just need to get out for a little while. It was a really beautiful day today. It was cold, but it was bright and clear and sunny. And I'm just slowing down a little bit here today. And I'm sipping my tea. I got some good Earl Grey tea. And been thinking all about all things mystical and Wiccan, you know. By the way, let me show you what I'm wearing today. I've got on one of my bonsai tree shirts. We are going to get the bonsai tree going soon. That's just because the weather's been so extreme. I didn't want to start it till it's a little more gentle weather because we've had heat problems in the building. I don't want to kill the tree. So we will get our bonsai done. But I got on my bonsai. And there's our Sun Lord back there. Isn't that wonderful? Or I suppose if you believe in the Japanese way, it's the Sun Goddess. Either way, the Sun Lord or the Sun Lady. We know the sun has divine energy connected to it. I've got my mystical pentacle. And I'm wearing my English flag pin, traditional flag of England, and my baronial crown because not only am I Lord Icy, I'm also the Baron of Perivale. So that's my British title. Actually, I have a real government-issued British title as Lord Paravel, British Baron of Paravel. It's British title. But Lord Ision's my Wiccan lordship that I hold. So I have a lordship and a barony. But I'm just glad you guys are here. So you can call me Lord Ision. You can call me Baron Bob. Doesn't matter. I'm just glad you guys are here tonight. Well, you know, I've been thinking today about the upcoming Wiccan Sabbath that's going to be coming. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. That really helps. If anybody wants to help me out, then give me a thumbs up, you know. And thank you. We're going to be taking Wiccan questions here in a little while, but I wanted to do a little reading tonight from this wonderful book that I always talk about, Wicca, a Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. Because a lot of you are asking about Invoke. What's Invoke? When's it coming? What's it about? Well, Invoke is going to be next week on February the 2nd. And next week, I got to tell you, we got a lot going on. So, you know, just because I forget to announce it, next Monday, we're going to have a special astrology show. We're going to be celebrating here at YouTube and my spirit channel. We're going to celebrate Chinese New Year. Next Monday is Chinese New Year. So we're going to celebrate this. So Monday is, well, actually, it's Tuesday is Chinese New Year. But we're going to celebrate Monday because Monday's the 31st. And on Tuesday is February 1st, which is Chinese New Year. And we're going to talk all about the year of the tiger and the zodiac signs of the Chinese astrology. So you want to be here on Monday, next Monday for that. It's going to be a special event. And on Tuesday, we've got Invoke. So we've got a lot going on here, you know. But a lot of you have been writing since, think about, what about Invoke? What do I need to know? What is it? What's the holiday? So I'm going to read a little bit about Invoke today. I thought you guys might enjoy this. So Invoke is really kind of the first Sabbath of the new year. You know, we had Yule back in December, and then in the Wiccan calendar, we don't have anything until February the 2nd, which is Invoke. Hey, there's Laura M. Welcome. There's Little Horn, you know. Davy Jan's here. Hello, Davy Jan. There's Sandra Juskin. Yay. Welcome, welcome. And so Invoke is on February the 2nd, okay? It's always on the 2nd. So let's see what Scott has to say about Invoke, shall we? All right, so this is from Wicca, a guide for the solitary. It says Invoke. Invoke, February the 2nd, marks the recovery of the goddess after giving birth to the god. The lengthening periods of light awaken her. The god is young, as a young lusty boy, but his power is felt in the longer days. The warmth fertilizes the earth, the goddess, causing seeds to germinate and sprout. And so the earliest beginnings of spring occur. This is a Sabbath of purification after the shut-in life of winter. Through the renewing power of the sun. It is also a festival of light and of fertility, once marked in Europe with huge blazes, torches, and fire in every form. Fire here represents our own illumination and inspiration as much as light and warmth. Invoke is also known as the Feast of Torches, Oil Milk, Lupercalia, Feast of Pan, Snowdrop Festival, Feast of the Waxing Light, Bridget's Day, and probably many other names. Some female Wiccans follow the old Scandinavian custom of wearing crowns of lit candles, but many more carry tapers during their invocations. This is one of the traditional times for initiations into covens and the self-dedication rituals, as the one outlined in chapter 12. These can be performed or renewed at this time. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. You know, every time I read this book, I learn something new, you know, and So for those of you who are wondering, so what you have to understand is the Wiccan wheel of the year, kind of like our astrology wheel. We're moving around wheels in Wicca as well. And at Yule, which was Christmas, Yule, December 21st, the Sun Lord entered the earth. And since that birth, the sun, the Earth Mother has been resting and just kind of recuperating. Because, birth's a big deal, I don't think any man could survive childbirth. So I have a lot of respect for women. All right. So now the Lord is growing. Now remember, our timeline in Wicca is a little different. So the Lord grows kind of rapidly. He goes in 1 year, he goes from birth through growing up, through marriage, through old age and death, all in 1 year. He's always renewing. He's the Sun Lord. He's the green man. He's the wise man. He's a wizard, a healer. Think of the male archetypes, and that's the energy of the Sun Lord. So he's the sun god here at Imbolc. And Imbolc comes from the old Celtic word oilmilk, which means the milking of calves, because at this time of year, cows would give birth and they would milk their calves. So they would have food from the mother cow. And so many people at this time in pagan Europe used to also birth cows, raise them, feed them. And what they used to do is make bonfires, and the smoke from the fire, they would walk the cattle or any animals they needed through the smoke, because the smoke of the fires at Imbolc were considered powerful and purifying. And this is something you might want to think about, with your animals. You could have a little fire in your backyard, maybe in like a barbecue pit. And as the smoke gets going, bring your animals and walk through the smoke with them. Purify yourself, purify the animals. A lot of people would walk themselves through the smoke to receive purification as well. So the light of Imbolc is the light of the Sun Lord. He's actually back. And what was funny is the other day I noticed that we really are getting a little bit of longer days, because I was going to take a nap at around 5 p.m. And usually at 5, it's always dark. And I always say, gosh, it's so dark. Well, this week, I noticed when I took my nap at 5 p.m., it was still light outside. I said, wow, I'm noticing that. So this is an amazing time, because the light has returned. The light of God, the light of Spirit, the light of the Sun Father is coming back. For the ancient pagans, you can imagine it must have been a little scary, that the days became so short as the sun's power, waned. And remember this, not only did the days become shorter, the sun is actually further away. And if you look at the sun in winter, you'll notice it looks smaller and its light is paler. It's not as intense because it's way down in the southern hemisphere. So Imbolc is like the sun is getting a little closer, starting to come back and bring his life force. So this is one of my favorite festivals. It's, it really makes sense to me. And especially for those of you, if you have to have an early morning job, you get up and go to work or you come home. A lot of you know that you go to work in the dark and you come home in the dark. By the time we get to Imbolc, that pattern's starting to change. And maybe you're getting a little more light in your day. I think it's wonderful. This is a wonderful time also to do healing, because it's the fire power of the Mother Goddess and the Sun God united. And for people who struggle with depression, doctors are saying that longer exposures to light seem to help lessen depression. Well, in Imbolc, we've got more light now every day, and it's going to continue to increase. So for those of you who are struggling with depression, Imbolc is a time for you to kind of try to take advantage of that if you can. If you're in an area of the world where you can actually see the sun and you're getting light, this will be good for you. Now, for those of you down under, we're at the point where the days are really getting shorter now. So it's funny, our days are getting longer. In the southern hemisphere, they're getting shorter. So they're the opposite, But Glittery Rainbow says, yes, I feel things lighten up overall with February. Isn't that true? I think the same thing. Yes, Glittery Rainbow, it's spelled Imbolc, Imbolc. But it comes from the old Celtic word oil milk, Oimelc, which is oil milk, which is Imbolc and oil milk are kind of the same word. But Imbolc's the modern day Wiccan word. Mm-hmm. And as I said, it's next week on February 2nd. So we got a lot going on, here at Spirit Channel. We're going to have our Astrology Monday next week. It's going to be all about Chinese New Year and Chinese astrology. So you want to be here for that. Tuesday, I think Tuesday we're going to have messages from the spirit world, but the Order of the Brown Star might do a ritual that night. So we'll see what's going on. But I am so glad to have all of you here, Also in this book, they also have a ritual that you can do for Imbolc. If I can find it here. Here it is. Actually, do you guys want me just to read the ritual to you? You're interested? It's not that long. But the thing I like about this book is Scott Cunningham's rituals are really to the point. Okay, so Imbolc, February 2nd. I'll just go ahead and read some of this. A symbol of the season, such as a representation of a snowflake, a white flower, or perhaps some snow in a crystal container, can be placed on the altar. This is some things to think about for a ritual. Okay. Now he says an orange candle anointed with musk, cinnamon, and frankincense, or rosemary oil, unlit, should be there. Snow can be melted and used for the water during the ritual, during the circle casting. So if you're in an area where you got snow, go get some snow and bring it in and put it on your altar. Arrange the altar light, the candles, and the censer, and cast the circle of stones. Recite the blessing chant on page 132. We won't go through all that right now. This is the whole ritual, but just giving you some ideas. Invoke the goddess and the gods. Say such words as the following. This is the time of the Feast of Witches, when every lamp blazes and shines to welcome the rebirth of the god. I celebrate the goddess. I celebrate the god. All the earth celebrates beneath the mantle of deep. What they're talking about is deep snow, the plants still buried under the earth. But in Imbolc, you will start to see some sprouts of grass and plants coming up from the earth. And if you're out seeing those, don't go, oh, look, those are weeds, and rip them out. Most of the time, they're not weeds, but in Imbolc, things start to appear. Okay. And it says, light the orange taper from the red candle on the altar or at the southern point of the circle. Slowly walk the circle clockwise, bearing the candle before you. Say these or similar words. All the land is wrapped in water. The air is chilled, and frost envelops the earth. But Lord of the Sun, horned one of animals in wild places, unseen you have been reborn of the gracious Mother Goddess, Lady of all fertility. Hail, great God. Hail and welcome. And it says, stop before the altar, holding aloft the candle. Gaze at its flame. Visualize your life blossoming with creativity and renewed energy and strength. If you need to look into the future or past, now is an ideal time to work. Works of magic, if necessary, may follow. Celebrate the simple feast, and the circle is released. So a very simple ritual, but very powerful. Now they have a little back here, Imbolc lore. I thought you guys might want to hear that. Imbolc lore says, it is traditional upon Imbolc at sunset or just after the ritual to light every lamp in the house, if only for a few moments, or light candles in each room in honor of the sun's rebirth. Alternately, light a kerosene lamp with a red chimney, and place this in a prominent position in the home or in a window. If snow lies on the ground outside, walk in it for a moment, recalling the warmth of summer. With your projective hand, trace the image of the sun on the snow. Isn't that beautiful? Foods appropriate to eat on this day include those fruits from the dairy, since Imbolc marks the festival of calving. Sour cream dishes are fine. Spicy and full-bodied foods in honor of the sun are equally attuned. It says curries and all dishes made with peppers, onions, leeks, shallots, garlic, or chives are appropriate. Spiced wines and dishes containing raisins, all food symbols of the sun, are also traditional. All right, so you see, you can, have a little simple ritual, honor the sun. You can have some food that you offer and use. And so, this is what I like. This book makes it very clear and very simple, and I just think it's wonderful. So I want to throw that out there. And, I'm just curious if any of you are exploring Imbolc or going to do a ritual or, tell me about that. Are we still broadcasting? I don't see any movement here in the chat. All right, we're broadcasting. Good. Now, as you know, guys, I told you I love Scott Cunningham and everything he writes, because to me it just makes sense, Well, anyways, I wanted to show you, speaking of all things Wiccan, I wanted to show you a few things here that are fun tonight. And first of all, I got to show you Baroness Colabobs, because my heat went out. Remember last week when I was wrapped up freezing? She bought this amazing item for me because my heat went out. It's an instant room heater. You literally plug it into the wall and you turn the switch on, and this in here has heating coils. It blows out hot air and warms a room. It's amazing. It's so tiny, but it literally filled my whole living room with warmth in just about 5 minutes. Not even that. So, anyways, I forget the name of it. I have to find the box. But anyways, have any of you ever seen these little instant room heaters? It's really kind of cool, I think it's fun. And, I was thinking, because here we are at Imbolc time coming up. We think about the warmth of the sun. And as you're out walking, try to be aware of that sun. You will feel its energy is getting just a little bit stronger. It's not as weak as it was a few weeks ago. But if you're one of these people like me who live in an area where it's still snow, you're saying, I don't know if I believe this Imbolc stuff about spring coming. Get a little space heater. Let yourself experience some warmth. But really think about this, is because Imbolc is the return of the sun. And I know some of you have written me and said how much you love it when I go out and worship the Sun Lord. You guys see me. And maybe tomorrow we'll go outside and look at the Sun Lord. I think that would be fun, wouldn't it? And Jules Yup says only 5 degrees right now. Oh, Jules, I'm so sorry. Anyways, so I want to show you another Scott Cunningham book that I recommend. For those of you who want to study Wicca, this is another wonderful one. It's called Earth Power. Beautifully written, got a lot of rituals in it. It studies the ways to tune to earth magic. And we're going to be using this book in the Order of the Brown Star, or Wiccan order. But I recommend it. But the thing I want to show you, this is a current copy. This is what the book looks like. If you go buy it online, this is what it'll look like. But I recently ran across an earlier version of this from the 1990s, 80s or 90s. And this is the original cover, Earth Power. Now, let me just show you something here. So here's the newest version. If you go order today, that's what the book looks. Back in the 80s and 90s, this is the cover, Earth Power. Same book, just different covers. Llewellyn tends to do, it's published by Llewellyn Publishers. The author, again, Scott Cunningham. You see at the bottom there. Okay. But what's interesting is, with Scott Cunningham's books, I really think it's worth it to have the old version and the new version. Because the new version, and I'm not knocking on this because I love this book, it's laid out very nicely. You'll get all the stuff that's in the original. Nothing's missing, except the only thing that's missing in the original copy from the 80s, they actually put illustrations in, and beautiful ones, might I add. So they have such pictures as this. You see the lady sitting with the candle doing candle magic. None of these pictures I'm going to show you are in the current edition. There's one of the Earth Mother. Hopefully you guys can see that. But the book is full, literally, like every other page has an artwork. Here's another witch doing some magic. You see, so all of the different artworks in this book are pretty amazing. And they inspired me as a Wiccan, Here's the lady. This looks kind of Invoke-ish. She's got a torch, a flaming torch, and raising it up to the sky. That's kind of like drawing down the sun, People ask me, say, can you draw down the sun? And my answer is absolutely yes. Now, in Wicca, it's traditional to do drawing down the moon. And drawing down the moon is when a priest or priestess goes out and communes with the goddess and draws her power from the lunar light into their body. It's really like a type of channeling, actually. And then the goddess will speak through the priest or priestess. And I believe in channeling of the moon. In fact, Baroness Kolobobs is going to do channeling of the moon again soon. And she might do it at one of our rituals. So, but this is bringing up the issue of like, what about channeling the sun? And in Wicca traditional proper, there was not a ritual that I know of for channeling or drawing down the sun. But I say, times are evolving. The religion is growing and changing. We could have a ritual to draw down the sun as equally as we do to draw down the moon, Glittery Rainbow says one can draw down any planetary energy, right? Yes, Glittery Rainbow, anybody can draw down any energy. But in Wicca, it's traditional to draw down the moon. And I don't recall anybody ever talking about drawing down the sun. And so I think it's time we bring that practice back into the Wiccan belief. Meredith Bolbob confirmed. She says, I can draw down the moon, So, yeah. So, Baroness Kolbos, when we do our Wiccan ritual with the order, you're going to do that and show it to everybody so they can receive the blessing of the goddess. In covens, it's traditional that the high priestess draws down the moon. So, Baroness Kolbos will do that for us at one point. But I wanted to show you this because if you're ever looking for books, with Llewellyn, and you see different covers, they do re-release stuff. The contents are the same, except for the artworks. Here's one of a witch using a magical mirror, doing a spell. And I just think it's kind of sad that they don't continue with the original artworks. A lot of the books I found that Llewellyn, as much as I love Llewellyn, they've tried to streamline it. And I understand why. It's probably just a money thing. But to add in the extra graphics and the time it takes to place them, it's probably a money thing. But I tell you, when you're first starting out magic, the images make a difference. They do help. So I hope that there'll be more Wiccan authors out there who, like Scott Cunningham, want to do some magical things and put images and artworks into the into the books. Hold on, guys, I'm losing my voice here. Mm-hmm. Glittery Rainbow says, that's sad though. The images are very beautiful and I would have paid some extra bucks for them. That's how I feel because they keep taking images out of the Llewellyn books. And I don't know. I just think they were really great, you know. So Honey Drizzle asked, Psychic Bob, are there any specific Wiccan books you'd recommend for beginners? Yes, these two that I just showed. These are the best. The very first book I read that got me into Wicca was this one. That was over 20 years ago. This book came out in 1988. It's still in print today. Thank you, Steve. Steve says, honey is good for the throat. I need to do that. I don't have any pain. It just sounds bad. And it'll smooth it out, hopefully. But this is the book I recommend everybody wants to learn Wicca start with. Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary. It'll give you such a good foundation and a way to connect with the teachings of Wicca. And you feel like when you read it, Scott Cunningham is right beside you. And then, of course, the other one I recommend is Earth Power. And this will give you an understanding of the elemental energies and how to do different types of magic. This, the original book, the Wicca book, also has magic. But this one has more focus on specifically Earth magic. If you get these two books, I'm telling you, you'll be wanting to be a Wiccan because it's just so neat. The way he writes and his style, I don't know, it works for me, you know. Now, some people always accuse Scott Cunningham and say, oh, he's a fluffy bunny. What is a fluffy bunny anyways? Well, in Wicca, a fluffy bunny is somebody who's also love and light, that they can't even be balanced. But that's not true because Scott Cunningham has a balance between the energy of the god and the goddess. Fluffy bunnies tend to be so lighthearted. They say, that's only the goddess. It's all love and light. There's no dark magic. There's no, darkness to the Lord and the lady. But clearly there is, if we study nature, as many Wiccan teachers have heard say, nature can be destructive and yet beautiful. So, when we have an earthquake, that's the Earth Mother, imbalanced and angry. Does that mean that she's evil? No, not necessarily. But the gods are real beings who have emotions and feelings, Glittery Rainbow says, yes, I got both books for beginners from Cunningham, real gems. Isn't that wonderful? Good. So Scott Cunningham. Honey Drizzle says she's going to check those books out. You're welcome, Honey Drizzle. Thank you for being here. Stardust C says, hey, Psychic Bob, I just received the book Earth Power. Did you get it under this cover or was it the older cover? Curious. You can still find the old covers online. Just search for the title and you'll see different images. You'll find out. I think the older books were better though. Glittery Rainbow asks a question. She says, as a member of the Brown Star, can I make my own out of wooden sticks from the forest grounds and tie them together as a 5-pointed star? Can the thread be any color? Gold or white thread may be good. Yes, Glittery Rainbow, yes. You can make a star, your own star, out of twigs. I'm going to do at our meeting, when we have our meeting, and I think we're going to do it next week. I'm going to show you different ways to work with the star, to make stars. If you can't buy one or you don't like it and you want to make your own, I'm going to show you different ways to do that. So yes, I think that's a wonderful way to do it. And the threads can be any color you want, Good question. All right. Glittery Rainbow and Miss Lisa both said they want to look for that book in the older cover version. I think you'll like it. Honey Drizzle says, is there any way the rituals are different in Wicca compared to others, for example, Freemasonry? That's a whole different tradition than Freemasonry. So they're not the same rituals. In fact, they differ from coven to coven and Wiccan to Wiccan because There's no one, and Wicca is different than most religions in that there's not a central governing body who lays down the law and says, this is how it must be done. Didn't happen. Now, Gerald Gardner was one of the founders, and he did give us a framework to work in, but even that can be altered. Nothing is sacrosanct in Wicca except the Lord and the Lady. How you do your rituals and how you do your spells really are up to you. So there is no, as I said, no rules about that. But traditionally, most witches gather, they'll do a circle casting, do some magic, and then they close the circle. There's a whole bunch of rituals to that, but even those change from coven to coven, So, they differ from Freemasonry in the sense that, yes, they're both ceremonial, but Wicca is more shamanic oriented, whereas Freemasonry is more like ceremonial magic. Wicca has ceremonial aspects as well, but they're just distinct, I found in the Freemasonry there's a lot of Christian undertone or overtone, Judeo-Christian mystery and mythology that you don't see in Wicca. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Barris Kolbobs says or asks, Bob, why did Artemis present herself to me? And that's a psychic question, so I probably want to wait and answer that in more detail. But I can say for right now that the gods oftentimes find us. In Wicca, we have a tradition of that we seek out deities to work with. Now, if you join a coven, a lot of times they already have deities in place. Like they'll say, we worship Isis, we worship Cernunnos. And if you're in a coven, you kind of have to, you can still have your own individual deities, but in a group setting, they generally limit it to a lord and a lady. And that varies from coven to coven because it goes back to the idea that all gods are one god. All goddesses are one goddess. And there is one initiator. Robert Stevens says, Bob, is that black and orange you're wearing? Yes, I'm wearing my bonsai tree. Welcome to the show, Robert. It's a bonsai tree. I'm wearing my pentacle on a cord. You know what I need to put on? My witch hat. Hold on, let me grab that. I wear witch hats year round, not just on Halloween. Because that's just what I like to do. How you guys like that? Huh? Psychic styling? Am I witchy looking for you? If you guys want to ask any Wiccan questions, feel free. I'll be glad to answer them for you because we're just talking about Wicca tonight. After I get my altar room finished, then I'll actually be able to start doing spells for you. I'll have this set up where I can lay out all the supplies. Right now, I'm just not set up yet for that. So that's why I'm not doing these spells. But we will do some spell work on Wiccan Wednesday in the future. Hi, Lauren. Thank you. She said, I like your witch hat. Isn't this cool? It's got stars. I'm crazy about stars. And it's got beautiful gold lame stars on it. It's black with golden stars. I think it's a lot of fun.